So we're going to create a standard shopping campaign the right way. Let's go ahead and click new campaign, sales, continue. From here we want to go shopping, ignore Google's prompt to take on Performance Max. This is a way for them to make more money, they know it. Standard shopping is what we want though for the moment, and we're going to hit continue. Just going to label this standard shopping test, check the additional settings. It's all good. Manual CPC. So in this particular case, I am going to use manual CPC. It's probably the best bidding strategy to use at this point in time for standard shopping. The whole point is we can get really granular. So we're going to set specific bids based on product types with this bid strategy. Daily budget, we're going to set to $30 a day. We're going to disable search partners. Search partners is really just a way for Google to give you more inefficient clicks that you're paying for. So I advise always turning that off. For campaign priority, this is really only something you need to worry about if you're going to have multiple campaigns, which applies in certain strategic cases where you have to allocate, different budgets according to different products or different sort of subdivisions of the business. In this case, though, because we're going to have just one standard shopping campaign, we're going to have our entire catalog within there. It will be structured neatly and nicely, as you'll see, but it really doesn't matter if I click low, medium, or high. It won't make any difference because we're only going to have the one campaign. For locations, I'm happy with Australia. I just want to go to location options, make sure I change that to the second option down within the targeting settings. Ad group name, I'm happy with ad group 1 for the moment, and then a bid. Now I'm going to set this bid to $1.50. That's kind of a good place to start when it comes to shopping. I recommend it between $1.30 to kind of $2 or $2.50 max. I recommend you start somewhere around there if you're going to do standard shopping. See how many clicks you can get for that particular level of budget or level of bidding, and adjust accordingly. So now you can see we have our standard shopping test, we have ad group 1, and we've got that $1.50 maximum cost per click with enhanced CPC activated. That's the bid strategy that I chose. And that's just, as you would have seen in the bid strategy lesson I gave, where basically Google's going to adjust the bid slightly up or below based on how likely that user is to convert. Like, is it someone just doing research and Google can tell based on their browsing history? Or is it someone who's actually interested in buying that product right now? So Google will adjust bids accordingly, and they're pretty good at doing that. So what we want to do is actually subdivide, because this doesn't tell me anything. We've got 86 products that are ready to serve, and they're all in here. But we've got everything from muesli to tea to all sorts of things here. So I'm just going to click the plus here, and I'm going to add a subdivision. And you can see I can then basically subdivide all of this stuff by product type. And I'm going to click save without editing bids, because I just want to get a visual on all this. So straight away you can see we're going to be able to generate impressions, clicks, and sort of all of these stats for these various different product groups. Now, I would have had all this information anyway. It's just that it would have been lumped into all products, right? And I could have at any point in time edited the subdivision and gone in and added these product groups, and it would have showed me the data retrospectively. So it's not like I have to do this in order to get the data moving forward. I will have the data anyway, but it's really important that we actually can analyze it and see it and understand it. And the reason is I might want to alter my maximum CPC bids per product group. Or I might see that one of them, despite getting 1,000 clicks and spending 99% of my daily budget or 99% of my monthly budget, is actually just not converting. I might be better off in certain cases completely excluding some of my product groups. So let's say for the purpose of this example, I have spoken with the client. They only want to advertise 2 different product groups, right? They want tea and they want nuts. Okay, tea and nuts. Everything else can be excluded. So what I might go ahead and do straight away is just basically exclude everything. This will save me a whole bunch of time. And then I'll just make sure to activate nuts here with a cost per click bid limit of $1.50. Now, because that's just nuts, I can literally go ahead and rename the ad group to just be nuts. So now you can see we have our nuts ad group under standard shopping test here. What I'm going to do now is copy this and paste it. And this is going to give me a whole new ad group. And the only reason I'm doing this is so that I can then advertise for those tea products from a different ad group. So you can see it's duplicated there. I'm now just going to go ahead and rename this to tea. And then it's a question of going in and doing the exact same thing, coming into product groups, activating tea. We're going to leave that one at $1.50, but for all intents and purposes, I could actually change that to $2 if I want to be more competitive with tea. And then I'm just going to exclude nuts from that ad group. So now what do I have? I have 2 different ad groups, one for nuts, right? One for tea, as you can see. And I can very simply see the performance of both just by looking at ad groups. That'd give me an immediate read. Now, keep in mind, that's no different to if I had left both of them in the same ad group. I'd clicked in and then I'd looked at nuts next to tea, and I would have stats in here, obviously once, a week from now, once the campaign's been running. But all it does is it speeds up the process a bit for me. So I can click on the campaign, look at the ad groups, and get that same information without having to click again and go a step further down. Now, the other benefit of doing this is that I can actually click on nuts and then go into keywords and look through the search terms. And it's going to show me, after data is pulled through, after a week or so, a list of all the words that have actually, all the searches that have taken place that have caused our ads to appear. And then I can go through, as I've just shown you with the, with the search tutorial in an earlier video, is I can add in negative keywords using our keyword parameters and using phrase match, broad match, etc. And I can basically make sure that we're super targeted on nuts and we're super targeted on tea. And this is the real way to do it. Now I could add in more. I could go in and add in another ad group for every product group I want to advertise. It really comes down to you. You can get creative with it. You don't just have to do one product group at a time. You might decide that actually you want to have, bulk nuts, fruit, all bulk activity together, for example. You might have all of these bulk product groups together, and basically that might lead you to a structure where you have nuts, tea, and then one for bulk. So you don't have to have one product group per ad group, but as you can see, this is how you build a proper standard shopping campaign.